Earlier in our broadcast, we brought you the celebration of the Jubilee of Families at the Vatican. Well, another celebration of families is slowly growing here in the U.S., a grassroots initiative called Fidelity Month. The movement aims to ignite a recommitment to God and our families, as well as to our communities and our nation. Princeton professor Robert George, who created the idea, says the hope is to heal division and restore unity in our nation. Professor George visited me in our Washington, D.C. studios to share more about Fidelity Month and ways you can participate. Take a look. Professor George, it's such a pleasure to have you here with us today.
It's my pleasure. Thanks for having me on.
So you started this thing called Fidelity Month. Can you tell us what it is and what was the inspiration behind it?
Yes, well, back in the spring of 2023, the early spring, I read a story in the Wall Street Journal talking about some new survey data, polling data, showing that the faith of Americans in the importance of religion, family, country, had all diminished very significantly over the past few years. Interestingly, the one area in which the faith of Americans increased was in the importance of money.
Oh my goodness.
Now, money is important. Yeah, no, we wouldn't want to be without money, and we want everybody to be prosperous. But material things are secondary to the things that really matter, like God and like marriage and children and like our communities. So this alarmed me because, of course, faith in God, fidelity to spouses and families, and patriotism and love of country and community have always been the glue that held Americans together. They are really the sources of our strength and unity as a nation. After all, we're not a nation based on common race or common ethnicity or ancestry or even a common religious denomination or anything like that. We're many different races, many different ethnicities from all over the world, many different faiths, Christian, Jewish, Protestant, Catholic, Eastern religions, and so forth. So if we're going to be bound together, if we're going to have unity and strength as a people, it's got to be in some common commitments. Now, first, of course, are the commitments that we all have as Americans to our Constitution, to our system of government, to our Republican civic order. But that's not enough. By itself, that's too thin. Americans have always relied on more than that, and that is across the races, across the ethnicities, across the religions, belief in the importance of God. In God we trust, our national motto. One nation under God in our Pledge of Allegiance. Number two, again, whether you're black or white, male or female, Protestant, Catholic, we've all shared a belief in the importance of fidelity to spouses, in marriage, to the family, to our children.
Now, Professor George, you mentioned this decline in these beliefs. How have you seen that play out in our society? And I know you're a professor at Princeton. Have you seen that play out in your students as well?
I've seen over the years an increasing secularization, a kind of inversion of values where people are valuing wealth and power and influence and prestige and status instead of focusing on faith and family and honor and integrity, beauty, knowledge, the things that really matter because they're not mere means to other ends, the way wealth and power and influence are means to other ends. These are the things that are ends in themselves. And of course, we've all seen the terrible decline in the family. So many broken families, families failing to form. And we've seen the social consequences and the personal costs that children in particular pay when families fail to form or when families dissolve. So part of the Fidelity Month effort is to restore the integrity of our society by restoring faith, by restoring the institution of the family, by reviving our understanding of what really matters, more than money, more than power, more than influence, and that is faith, family, love of country and community, integrity, honesty, decency, the things that are not just means to other ends.
That's incredible. And now, Professor George, you first launched this initiative in 2023.
That's
what
right.
have been the fruits of it thus far?
Well, interesting. I launched this initiative on social media. It's purely a grassroots effort. I have no fund of money. I have no staff or anything like that. But I just took to my social media accounts, my Twitter, as it was known then, my Twitter account, and my Facebook account, and I just said, I declare Fidelity June to be Fidelity Month. And several thousands of people joined in and said, yes, we want to be part of this. And the next thing we knew, people were reproducing the image on flags and banners and hats and things like that. And they were holding Fidelity Month events at churches and at other community gatherings. Even some political figures, mayors and legislators and others announced that they were going to recognize and honor Fidelity Month. Then the second year, we went from having, some thousands of people to having some tens of thousands of people.
That's incredible.
So now we're in our third year, and I'm hoping we'll move up to hundreds of thousands and then millions of people recognizing Fidelity Month. And more importantly, recognizing the principles that Fidelity Month is dedicated to.
So what are some practical ways in which our viewers could participate in Fidelity Month?
Number one, go to fidelitymonth.com, www.fidelitymonth.com, and we've got a whole list of things that you can do. Encourage your pastor, your priest, or your minister, your rabbi, whoever it is, to note Fidelity Month in a sermon. Talk about these principles of the importance of restoring fidelity to God, fidelity in marriage to spouses and families, fidelity to our country, living more than just for me.
Yes.
Help to organize an event at your church or at your community center. Have a speaker. We're not dictating anything, but have a speaker who's going to come to talk about patriotism. When was the last time we acknowledged the importance of patriotism?
Yeah.
Talk about the importance of fidelity to God. My goodness, talk about the importance of fidelity in marriage. The whole structure of society depends on that, and it's being eroded. So we've got to get it back. How can I serve my spouse better? How can I make it less about me, and more about serving her? Or serving him, serving our children together. How can I be a better parent, a more attentive parent? Am I using these darn devices too much to babysit the kids? How about me spending time with the kids? That's what really matters.
Well, thank you so much, Professor George, for taking the initiative and getting this started.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
If you would like to learn more about Fidelity Month and get access to its resources, you can visit fidelitymonth.com.